Good morning, Foxes. Thanks for stopping by. Today, I'm back with this week's lore video, which is on Misthalin. I'm so excited, so let's get started. Sentistan. This was the capital city of the Zerosian Empire existing during the Second and Third Age. It's known as the dig site in modern day and is currently being excavated by the Varak Museum. Supposedly, it was a mass temple complex, making it one of the largest known cities to date. Even after Zamorak's betrayal and Zaros' demise, it continued to be the capital well into the Third Age, where it was eventually conquered by Zamorakian forces. It was destroyed and later conquered by the Saradominus, who built the city Saranthium in its place. During the dig site quest, you'll find a Zerosian symbol and an ancient tablet in an undiscovered temple ruin. If you have knowledge of the ancient magics, you can use the Zerosian spell Teleport to Sentistan. Padua. Little is actually known about this place, other than it was a mighty military fortress where present-day Edgeville is now. Its exact purpose was unknown. Since Zaros controlled the wilderness, Asgardia, and Misthalin, this put this at about the center of Zaros' kingdom, making conflict really unlikely. Zamorak betrayed Zaros, starting the God War, which led to Zaros' land falling into the hands of many different races and religions. The forces of Saradomin were the ones to destroy Padua. Dorgish Khan Civil War. The Dorgish Khan Civil War was infighting amongst the Dorgish Khan tribe and Dorgish Khan. An entrance to this lost tribe was found by an adventurer much later on under Lumbridge Castle. The Civil War was started because many people believed that since they lived underground and didn't fight anyone, that the council should have more say than the generals. The people voted to become a republic, but General Bonehelm refused to give up power, thusly leading to the Civil War. Although the Republic was a larger portion of the population, General Bonehelm controlled most of the trained warriors and magic items kept in the tribe. The Republic pushed through, forcing General Bonehelm to leave the city, but he took up arms in a nearby cave that he carved out and launched a counterattack. A bloody battle ensued, and yet again General Bonehelm was forced to retreat back to his cave, but because he had weakened the walls, the roof came down and crushed his army. That was the last time the Dorgish Khan took up arms against their own. Shortly after the Civil War, Dorgish Khan became a beautiful and prosperous place. Most of the artifacts have been lost, though a large portion were recently found when dwarves from Celtigrim started building the Dorgish Khan to Celtigrim train system. Edicts of Gothics. The Edicts of Gothics were a series of decrees Gothics made for the world after the last God War. It states that there is balance between Saradomin, the god of order, and Zamorak, the god of chaos. If either of them attempted to upset this balance by invading the other, then the other god would summon reinforcements from another realm, thusly leading to another god war. If this was to happen, Gothics would awaken and return, bringing justice to Gielinor by remaking the world as it has never been, but also destroying it in the process. Saradominus scholars are examining the edicts for a loophole as they discovered werewolves were crossing the River Salve to kidnap humans for blood ties. Elder Dragons. The Elder Dragons is a world creation theory that's not well known, nor is it popular compared to the theory of world creation by Gothics. It links the creation of Gielinor to an ancient race known as the Elder Dragons. As long as the dragons lived, the world would continue, thusly erasing the whole race would result in the end of the world. It's possible that the Elder Dragons could be the dragonkin that were slain by Robert the Strong. Though they are believed to be extinct, there could be a couple still alive which could be keeping the world alive too. Skeptics believe the myth of the Elder Dragons was just invented to cast doubt on the claims that the world was lifeless before the gods arrived. Varaka. Varaka was built in the year 700 in the Fourth Age. It would later be known as Varak and is the longest surviving settlement outside the Caridian Desert. A town found an abandoned baby and took it as a good omen. The baby became the famous hero named Arav. Within 100 years, Zemorigal, a powerful Zamorakian Maharat necromancer, invaded Varaka with an army of zombies looking to claim the shield of Arav. The shield holds great power and was crafted by the now nearly extinct Master Smith race Imcampto dwarfs. Arav and the grandson of one of the city elders defeated the army with the help of the shield, but it came at the cost of Arav's life. The Murigal took this opportunity to retreat with an undead version of Arav. Soon, the Varaka people became very powerful, taking control of neighboring tribes and eventually forming the first human nation called Misthalin. During the mid-4th Age, Misthalin was a rough outline of a conglomeration, with the tribes paying homage to Varaka. It wasn't until the end of the 4th Age that a nation started to form. It's presumably said that in 900 or 1,000 years they changed to a monarchy, but the current timeline is unknown. Eventually, dark creatures from Montania assaulted Misthalin. Fortunately, there were 7 priestly warriors who pushed them back and were able to bless the River Salve, which in turn made it so the creatures of Zamorak could not pass. Though we do not know for sure when Varaka changed to Varak, it is heavily suggested in the diary of Irby Flax that it was mid-late 4th Age. The Burning of Varaka. The Burning of Varaka is the unofficial name of the battle between the goblin armies and the people of Varaka between the 700 and 800 years of the 4th Age. It resulted in the city being damaged, many human casualties, and only a handful of human survivors. Erov, the mighty hero, was not in the town at the time of the attack, but he saw the smoke from the forest and ran back to find it burned to the ground. He searched for survivors who could help him slaughter the goblins who had destroyed their city, and he found some just east of Varaka. They formed their group for revenge, but once they reached the goblin village, Erov had a sudden change of heart and decided to offer love and peace instead. The goblins accepted his offer, and they now coexist peacefully, with humans traveling to the goblin village and goblins traveling to Varaka for trade. The Battle of Salve. The Battle of the Salve was the final battle of Misthalin-Montania War. Misthalin was able to drive back the dark creatures, including Lorinil Draken's vampires, to the River Salve, where 7 priestly warriors waged a battle. They fought for 10 days, and when reinforcements arrived on the 11th day, they found only dead bodies, those of the 7 priestly warriors and of the vampires. Fortunately, before their death, the priestly warriors were able to bless the River Salve to prevent any more dark creatures to pass into Misthalin. Because of their heroic deeds, they erected the temple Patrodomus and entombed the priestly warriors there, except for Ivandis Seergaze, who was rumored to be buried in a secret cave somewhere in Montania. Though, come to find out later, he is actually buried quite close to the monarchy hideout. Though there have been people to cross over using various methods the River Salve has held throughout the years. These 7 priestly warriors are regarded throughout history as Misthalin's most celebrated historical figures. The Wizard's Tower. The Order of Wizards and the Wizard's Tower were formed at the same time in the early 5th Age because of the rediscovery of runecrafting. Starting off, all researching wizards were welcome, though it was said that Zamorakian wizards couldn't study certain subjects. About 100 years ago, the tower was burned down, with decades of research lost, including an incantation that would teleport you to the Rune Essence mine. Only the basement survived its destruction. The Order believes that it was the Zamorakian wizards that burnt the tower down in retaliation to being unable to steal Saradominus research. After the tower was rebuilt, all Zamorakian wizards were expelled, so they formed their own group called the Zamorak Magical Institute. It's claimed the real reason the tower burnt down was because a Saradominus stole a ritual from a Zamorakian who had made a breakthrough in teleportation magic and had performed the ritual badly, causing the fire. The Siege of Varak. The Maharat Lucian in the year 154 of the 5th Age led a military invasion that was unofficially known as the Siege of Varak. The Varakian forces were able to push them back with little effort, mostly with magic which they had a dwindling supply of at the time. The invasion was commenced similar to the invasion of Varaka that had taken place 1,000 years ago. Lucian massed an army full of undead harvested from the wilderness, and unlike Zamergol, Lucian was helped by at least one human necromancer, Solus Delgar. He went on to become one of the most powerful battle mages in the world, even though he played a little part in this siege. On the 2nd floor of the Varak Museum, Case 26 is dedicated to this, though it doesn't list Lucian by name. The Temple Knights have also investigated this to some extent. In the year 169, Lucian did return in secret to take up residency in a house northwest of the city, but ultimately was forced out after trying to get his hands on the staff of Armadil. Founding of Edgeville. In the year 169 of the 5th Age, King Rold of Varak had the town incorporated as Edgeville. It's unclear whether the ruins of Padua were the same ones residing when it was renamed Edgeville, but the ruins were called Ghost Town by the people of Misthalin. The small crypt found south of town is the only real remaining part of Padua. If you have access to the magic spellbook, then you can teleport here using the Zoroastrian spell Padua Teleport. It's suggested that Edgeville got its name from being on the edge of the wilderness and/or Varak. The Edgeville Incident. The Kinshra, White Knights, Temple Knights, and Solus Delgar waged a battle in Edgeville, now known as the Edgeville Incident. Over 800 White Knights, Black Knights, and civilians were killed. This act earned Solus Delgar the nickname Murder Mage and Mad Solus. Solis was eventually captured by the Temple Knights. Lord Shadowell died during the battle, leaving the Kintra to elect Lord Decarius, the youngest ever Black Knight to lead Kintra. The Occupation of Patronus. In the year 169 of the 5th Age, monks of Zamorak attacked the Saradominus temple known as Patrodomus, which lies on the border of Misthalin and Mortania in a narrow mountain pass called Severia. Grizzle, the resident priest, was captured by the Zamorakians and held upstairs in a cage next to a vampire coffin they had brought with them. They took up residency in the temple and tried to desiccate the River Salve in an attempt to weaken it to allow forces from Mortania to cross over into Misthalin. Darylith's attempted destruction. Long ago, the exact date is unknown, a demon named Darylith was summoned by a cult of monks using a stone table. He was immediately confronted by Wally, an ancient knight of sorts who defeated Darylith easily using a silverlight sword and an incantation. For a reason unbeknownst to us, Zamorakian dark wizards performed a ritual to summon Darylith to this world again. An adventurer retrieves Silverlight, figures out the incantation, and defeats Darylith before he's able to do any harm. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. Remember to stop by next week for Mortania's lore video. Till next time.